Yeah, alright, I'm still using the ND and I also forgot the mic, so bear with me. I will try to clean the audio with Adobe Enhance, but here we are just trying to see how much this catalyst browse helps, because not all the cameras have IBIS and not all the glasses have OSS. I'm having both IBIS and OSS in a Sony glass, so ideally they talk to one another and they help each other. But if in addition to that, I'm also processing in exchange for a bit of a crop into catalyst browse, how good, how better is the end result? Here I'm casually walking, I'm not paying particular attention to the way I walk, and of course I'm not using the gimbal. So this whole thing is to avoid having, setting and recharging and keeping and holding a gimbal. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thomas Love here from One Lens Only, and today we're gonna discuss something, because with this new way of shooting mirrorless, which are by definition hybrid cameras for both stills and videos, 4K, plenty of megapixels, so whatever you're doing with nowadays cameras, you will have a great end result. But we used to say, when I was starting shooting and I was starting with film cameras, that you would pick up the glass because you might have a specific glass that you were needing or you were in need for. And so once you pick up the glass, well, of course, you had to accompany it with the relative body. And the camera bodies back then, I mean, there was nothing special. One another, all of them were at par because there was not much they were doing. They were just basically managing the advancement of the film, and then eventually later on giving you some hints for the exposure, but we were basically picking up the glass. While nowadays that you have plenty of functions, that you have all these capabilities, functionalities in camera, in body stabilization, autofocusing, tracking, log shooting, raw shooting, crop in, crop out, whatever, then you're picking up a camera system. And so in this video today, in this episode, I wanted to show you why I ended up with Sony. Not that I'm really in love with it, but the system is really convenient. And so we have all this, I call it alien technology. It all started because Sony, they were brave enough to implement mirrorless systems when DSLR were still a thing. So the standard was having the mirror flipping up and down, and they started developing mirrorless systems, which are nowadays the standard for professionists, but also for prosumers and for amateurs. And so once you get into the Sony, you saw the evolution year after year of the crop sensors, APS-C, and the full frames. Also full frame right now is the standard because they're not so big and bulky nor expensive as they used to be. So nowadays you land on a Sony camera system. That might not be your very favorite. It is not my very favorite, but it is the most convenient. It's the easiest to use. It helps you a lot if you're a one-man band like myself. You're shooting your stills, you're recording your videos, and then you need many items less than other camera systems. So let's take this as an example. My camera, it's an A7C Mark II. And then by using it, I was happy because I finally had a autofocusing tracking. And so every time I record my talking head or any other video over there, I don't have to give a damn about the focus because I know that the camera is tracking my eye, and so I will always be then sharp in focus. But that was the starting point, because this camera, compared to other ones in the Sony offerings, this also has this additional AI chip, and so it has an enhanced recognition of the face, of the eye, of the movements of the body, so it will eventually anticipate the movements before you do them to make sure it doesn't miss you. But then, in addition to that, I also have this hotshoe that can manage the audio. So with the mic right here, I don't have to charge the receiver because I just pop it in the hotshoe of my camera and I'm good to go. I only have the transmitter here. I can wear it or I can put it down on the table, and the receiver gets its energy by the camera. So I don't have to mess up with cables anymore. I can use the raw 1000 beats, 2002 zillion beats audio directly inside my video, and it's a digital transmission from the hotshoe to the camera. So this is another thing that helps you with. And then another thing that helps you with is that with this camera, with many other Sony cameras, you can shoot S-Log. So S-Log, if you're recording videos, it gives you a lot of help because it's compressed, it's not missing any information, and then you can do the color grading as you please with the whatever software you want to use, DaVinci Resolve, or eventually, since this camera also have the in-body image stabilization and the gyro integrated in the camera, you can even process it in Catalyst Browse. So in this video, I wanted to show you how it works because I have the in-body image stabilization in the camera. I have the optical steady shot in the glass, and it helps a lot, especially when you're vlogging, because it helps you with all these shakes. So it's quite smooth, the recording as you walk. But if you want an additional help, you can process in Catalyst Browse. Now, Catalyst Browse will run by itself, analyzing the video that you are providing it with. So make sure you have the icon with the frame of the movie and the little blurry lines beside, because it means that it can help you with stabilization. So you will need to give it the raw files directly out of camera, not the ones that you process with DaVinci Resolve. And then you can also have the color grading within Catalyst Browse. So if you're not doing anything special, you just export it stabilized in Rec 709. And then as a base, you're good to go. So it's also helping you with the workflow. It's improving your production because you're spending far less time managing the color, matching colors, matching the vibration compensation, whatever. Catalyst Browse, it's a big of a help. It's an additional step, but it can also replace the one you are doing for color grading, assuming you don't have to give your video a special nuance. So if you're not after nuances, then you want to make it cinematic, or as it is that you have to do, the Rec 709, it can be converted, it can be color graded in Rec 709 while stabilizing the video. So guys, what else to say? It's just a few steps, but once you are in this ecosystem, so now you're not choosing the glass anymore, because Sony glasses, they are quite good, I have to say. Contemporary ones, they are also sharp, almost clinically sharp, I have to say. It's too much, it's too sharp in my humble opinion. It has no romance in the storytelling, but if you are for it and if you want sharp glasses, you can go for G-Master glasses, and you're not picking up the glass anymore, you're picking up a full ecosystem, because you have the stab in the camera, the stab in the glass, the stab with Catalyst Browse, the audio embedded in your video. You don't need a gimbal anymore, you don't need many other things. So it's a one-man band with just one device, with just one camera, and sometimes spent here and there with software, because if you want to add an additional crop into stabilizing Catalyst Browse, it's an additional step. If you want to color grade, or if you don't want to color grade, you can just use S-Cineton, as I'm doing right now, and a few tweaks here and there might be enough. But guys, you have plenty of choices, and so I do really understand why choosing the Sony ecosystem makes life easier for professionals, for photographers, for video makers. Just pick up your ecosystem. I'm quite sure Nikon has the same offerings with softwares, with that camera. I would go for the Nikon Z6 Mark III if I had to pick up a camera tomorrow. Leica, not so much, but I have these magnificent, beautiful M-mount glasses to match with. And then if you want to go medium format, Fuji, Hasselblad. So every time you have to pick up, nowadays, a camera, we don't pick up a glass anymore. We pick up an ecosystem based on our workflow. So this is something I didn't see coming, because when I started, it was still the latest century, or even the last millennia, because it was the same thing. Last century, I didn't see it coming. We were just picking up beautiful glass as fast as possible, not so expensive, and plenty of film to get along with, and the camera body. I was a Nikon fan, I still am, but nowadays I landed on Sony because it's so convenient. Let's see if using it day by day with all these beautiful helps that it gives me might develop some affection to, like I had for my Nikon and for my Leica. So with that, I hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, please remember to like it, share it on your social media, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any videos to come, and I guess I will see you later. Thank you. Bye bye.